My question is to the Minister for Workplace Relations and Safety. What changes has she recently announced about improving certainty for those in contracting relationships?
Mr. Speaker, on Sunday, I announced that this coalition government has agreed to amend the Employment Relations Act to provide greater certainty and clarity for businesses and workers in contracting relationships. This was an ACT National Coalition commitment and was also a priority in the government's Q3 plan. The amendments to the Employment Relations Act will provide a gateway test that the Employment Relations Authority can consider when responding to a claim that a person is an employee and not a contractor. If the working arrangement in question meets the 4 factors set out in the test, then the person is considered to be a contractor. This approach provides a much clearer path to establishing who is a contractor compared with the current test, which leaves room for ambiguity.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. How will the gateway test work in practice?
Mr. Speaker, there are 4 criteria for the gateway test. These criteria are: there must be a written agreement with the worker specifying they are an independent contractor, not an employee. The business does not restrict the worker from working for another business, including competitors. The business does not require the worker to be available to work on specific days or times, or the worker can subcontract the work. And the business does not terminate the contract if the worker does not accept an additional task or engagement. I want to make it clear that these changes do not change any worker's current employment agreement or their contract. Businesses that use contract arrangements will not be required to change their contracts. Any business or worker who wants to use this gateway test will need to willingly sign up to a contract of this nature. Workers who challenge their status and their contract and it does not meet these 4 criteria will be considered under the current full test.
How will your changes affect workers in contracting relationships?
Mr. Speaker, the changes I've announced have the potential to improve protections for contractors and enhance the benefits of contracting relationships. These changes remove the current ambiguity that can happen when there's no written agreement to begin with, and the worker might genuinely not understand what they are agreeing to. Speaking to TVNZ, an employer of people with disabilities said that the criteria of the new gateway test are clear and would help workers better understand their rights in a contracting relationship and to assert those rights.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. How will your changes affect businesses in contracting relationships?
Mr. Speaker, businesses have been suffering uncertainty for years around the boundaries between an employee and a contractor relationship, and these changes provide more certainty. I'm pleased to share that my announcement has been welcomed by a range of sectors. The Chief Executive of Freightways said the government's announcement has provided the certainty that businesses and contractors alike have been waiting for after what he called 5 years of ambiguity. Business New Zealand also welcomed the announcement, saying the government's decision to clarify those relationships in law will be particularly welcomed by all businesses that use digital platforms to contract with workers and all businesses currently concerned that their contractors could be recategorised to be employees in the future should they decide to take a court case.